Now when I was a young man I carried a pack, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915 the country said, son, time to stop rambling, there's work to be done. And they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. Midst all of the cheers, flag waving and tears, we sailed off to Gallipoli. How well I remember that terrible day, our blood stained the sand and the water, and how in that hell that they call Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs to the slaughter. Johnny Turkey was ready, he primed himself well, he showered us with bullets and rained us with shells, and in 5 minutes flat he'd blown us all to hell, nearly blew us right back to Australia. But the band played Waltzing Matilda as we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours and the Turks buried theirs, and we started all over again. And those that were left, well, we tried to survive in a mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, while around us the corpses grew higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse over it, and when I woke up in my hospital bed, I saw what it had done and I wished I was dead. Never knew there were worse things than dying. For I'll go no more waltzing Matilda, all around the green bush far and near. To hump tent and pegs, a man me needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. So they collected the crippled, the wounded, the maimed, and they shipped us all back to Australia. The legless, the armless, the blind, the insane, those brave wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where my legs used to be, and thank Christ there was no one waiting for me to mourn or to grieve or to pity. But the band played Waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway, but nobody cheered. They just stood and stared, then they turned all their faces away. And now, every April I sit on my porch and I watch the parade pass before me. See my old comrades, how proudly they march, reviving old dreams and past glories. And the old men march slowly, all tattered and torn, forgotten men from a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. And the band plays Waltzing Matilda, the old men answer the call. But year after year the numbers grow fewer, someday no one will march anymore. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, who come waltzing Matilda with me. And their ghosts can be heard as they march by the billabong. Who'll come waltzing Matilda with me?